Welcome to Global Watch. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. A trade war has exploded across North America, shaking the foundations of a partnership once considered the envy of the world. This is not just about tariffs, it's about jobs, alliances, and the future of our continent. In Washington, former President Donald Trump has unleashed a barrage of new tariffs, shocking his closest neighbors. Mexico has retaliated, refusing to be bullied, while Canada is caught in the middle, blind-sided and squeezed from all sides. The intricate web of supply chains that has bound the United States, Canada, and Mexico together for decades is now under unprecedented strain. The explosive growth of Chinese-made electric vehicles has become a geopolitical weapon, threatening North American industries. What began as a united front against subsidized Chinese products has devolved into a chaotic, three-way clash. President Trump's aggressive, unilateral actions have shattered any illusion of continental solidarity. Mexico's surprising retaliation has redrawn the battle lines, while Canada pays a heavy price, trapped between its powerful ally and a vengeful China. The very agreement designed to foster free trade, the USMCA, is now at the center of the storm. The choices made by leaders in Washington, Mexico City, and Ottawa will have repercussions for generations. The stability of an economic bloc worth trillions of dollars hangs in the balance. This is a story you need to understand, because its impact will be felt far beyond the corridors of power. For decades, trade between the United States, Canada, and Mexico was a model of economic integration. The North American Free Trade Agreement, and later the USMCA, created one of the world's largest free trade zones. Goods and services flowed seamlessly, powering industries and creating millions of jobs. But the rise of China's electric vehicle industry, fueled by massive state subsidies, changed the game. Chinese automakers began exporting high-quality, low-cost EVs at a scale never seen before, threatening North American manufacturers. The US, Canada, and Mexico initially responded with heavy tariffs on Chinese EVs, presenting a united front. The strategy: protect North American jobs and industries from subsidized imports. But China found ways around US tariffs, using Mexico and Canada as backdoors into the American market. Mexican imports of Chinese auto parts soared, and US imports from Mexico grew in tandem. This circumvention, an open secret, became the very issue that would tear the alliance apart. What started as cooperation quickly unraveled into mistrust and conflict. The North American partnership was now on shaky ground. The return of Donald Trump to the White House brought a new level of aggression to US trade policy. Coordinated North American strategy was replaced by unilateral tariffs targeting even America's closest partners. A crippling 50% tariff on Canadian steel sent shockwaves through the industry. A 25% tariff on Mexican pharmaceuticals, and a new fentanyl tariff linked trade to border security. Trump ended the duty-free threshold for small shipments from China and suspended it for Canada and Mexico, hitting small businesses hard. The moves were deeply political and theatrical, destabilizing North American relations overnight. Behind the scenes, Trump authorized the US military to target Mexican drug cartels, nearly sparking a diplomatic crisis. For industries on both sides of the border, the chaos has been devastating. Carefully calibrated supply chains are now in disarray, threatening jobs and raising costs. The trust that once held the North American economic bloc together has been shattered. Faced with escalating US tariffs, Mexico refused to back down. President Claudia Sheinbaum's government retaliated, targeting politically sensitive US agricultural products like corn and pork. This marked a fundamental shift. Mexico was no longer the junior partner but an assertive economic power. The move was a calculated gamble, risking economic pain to defend national dignity and sovereignty. By fighting back, Mexico signaled it would not be bullied, drawing a line in the sand. The retaliation upended the geopolitical chessboard, turning a US-China dispute into a three-way North American conflict. President Trump, expecting capitulation, was shocked by Mexico's forceful response. Canada now faces an even more complex trade environment, caught between its two largest partners. Mexico's counterpunch has raised the stakes and fundamentally altered the nature of the game. The stage is set for a contentious USMCA review in 2026. As Washington and Mexico City traded blows, Canada was caught in the crossfire, its government blindsided and the country divided. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government faces a two-front trade war, US tariffs on one side, Chinese retaliation on the other. The decision to impose a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs, meant to protect Ontario's auto sector, backfired. China responded with massive tariffs on Canadian agricultural exports, devastating the western provinces. The canola sector, vital to the prairies, now faces an existential threat. Western premiers are in open revolt, demanding the EV tariff be scrapped to save their farmers. Meanwhile, Ontario's auto industry insists the tariff must remain to protect jobs. The government is paralyzed, unable to satisfy either side, and the country is more divided than ever. Canada's internal conflict has left it vulnerable and isolated. This trade war is not just policy, it's personal. In Windsor, Ontario, auto workers feel protected by the EV tariff, seeing it as job security. But in Saskatchewan, canola farmers face ruin as their biggest market disappears overnight. The pain is real. Farmers worry about losing their land, while factory workers cling to hope for their future. In the US, a steel worker in Ohio faces uncertainty as tariffs disrupt supply chains, raising costs and threatening jobs. A pork farmer in Iowa watches prices plummet as Mexico retaliates, his livelihood at risk from a distant dispute. In Mexico, a pharmaceutical worker fears layoffs due to US tariffs, while a worker in a Chinese-owned auto parts factory sees new opportunity. The trade war is creating winners and losers, often arbitrarily, depending on where you live and what you do. The human cost is mounting, with families and communities caught in the crossfire. The line between protection and sacrifice is razor thin. For many, the future has never felt more uncertain. The stakes are not just economic, they're deeply personal. As North America fights itself, China is playing a long strategic game. Its tariffs on Canadian agriculture were designed to deepen Canada's internal divisions, pitting Western farmers against Eastern manufacturers. This divide-and-conquer strategy weakens Canada's resolve and distracts its government. While Canada argues with itself, China expands its economic influence elsewhere. By investing in Mexican manufacturing, China embeds its parts into North American supply chains, bypassing direct tariffs. A car assembled in Mexico may be labeled "Made in North America," but it's filled with Chinese components. Chinese investment in Mexico is booming, further complicating the trade landscape. The USMCA was meant to foster a North American supply chain, but China is quietly co-opting it. The upcoming 2026 USMCA review is a critical chance to address this, but unity is lacking. While the US, Canada, and Mexico fight, China is quietly winning the long game. Experts warn that North America is at a dangerous precipice. President Trump's unilateral actions undermine the very foundation of the USMCA. The upcoming 2026 review is now a make-or-break moment for the continent. Trade expert Adisu Lashitu suggests Canada could de-escalate by replacing its blanket EV tariff with a targeted countervailing duty, opening the door to negotiations with China. But industry leaders like Flavio Volpe insist the tariffs are essential to protect the auto sector during a historic transformation. The Canadian government is caught between saving farmers and saving auto workers. Most experts agree only a return to coordinated trilateral strategy can secure North America's future. The current free-for-all is a losing game for everyone. The 2026 USMCA review is the perfect forum to forge a unified policy on Chinese circumvention and state subsidies. But getting there will require unprecedented diplomacy and compromise. The continent must choose unity or decline. North America stands at a historic fork in the road. Down one path, chaos, escalating trade wars, broken supply chains, and lost jobs. Down the other, cooperation. Leaders recommit to partnership and use the 2026 USMCA review to modernize the agreement. A unified strategy is needed to face the economic challenge from China and protect domestic industries without sacrificing key exports. The immediate challenge is immense, with political divisions in all three countries. Yet together, the US, Canada, and Mexico form an economic powerhouse that can compete globally. Their economies are too intertwined to separate without immense pain. As other blocs strengthen, North America must adapt or risk being left behind. The choice is stark: smacher, repair the alliance or let it shatter. The answer will define the economic future for hundreds of millions. The clock is ticking and the world is watching.